It's very important to know how to work with your brush, especially when you want to paint with your brush. So, in this video, I talk about important brush settings such as hardness, opacity and flow, useful Photoshop default brushes, managing brush library, defining a new brush, spacing, shape dynamics, size jitter, angle jitter, scattering, opacity settings, and more. In this video, I want to talk about brush. This is the brush icon in toolbar. The shortcut is B. Brush tool. If you select brush, you will have some setting here and here in brush setting. If you cannot see this window, come here, window, brush setting, or press F5. When you select brush, you have some setting here. If you press on this icon, you will see this menu. There are some setting here, but most of the setting are here. So you have more control over your brush here. You can also see this menu if you right click or press pen button of your tablet. If you change a setting here, it also change here or here. Other setting that we have here is opacity. Opacity will control the transparency of your brush stroke. So with less opacity, you will have less transparency. Flow is also important. The difference between opacity and flow is that flow is the speed at which the color is applied to your canvas. So if you increase the percentage, the speed increase, and if you decrease the percentage, the speed decrease. It's here to simulate the effect of traditional brush. Imagine you have a spray paint can. If you hold the spray on a spot, by holding the spray, the color becomes darker and darker. With flow, you can build up gradually your color over each other. Later in this video, we will talk more about the opacity and flow. If you don't get it right now, don't worry. We will discuss it later. Next thing that is very useful to know when working with brush is about the hardness. If I select this brush, by default the brush is hard and hardness is at 100. But if I select this one, the hardness is 0%. During this course, we will use this brush, soft round pressure opacity, and hard round pressure size brush. We use this both brush a lot. In more advanced lesson, we will also use this brush. Okay, as I said, hardness controls the hardness of the brush tip. If you see here, when I change the hardness, the brush tip change. With the hard tip, the edge of the brush stroke is hard, and with soft tip, the edge of the stroke is soft. When the brush is selected, if you right click or if you press pen button of your tablet, this menu will pop up. You can manage your brush here. You can add, delete, import, or export your brush here. To manage your brush, click on this icon gear on top right of this menu. By pressing new brush preset, you can save a new brush. You can delete the brush, you can rename it, or you can import brush. I will show you how to work with this item. So let's make an example. Imagine we want to define a very simple brush, maybe something like this. When you want to define a brush like this, you can define the silhouette of your brush marks. Then, using rectangular marquee tool, draw a rectangle around it. Then come here, edit, define brush preset. It will ask you a name. If I right click, this brush has been added here. So let's just do some basic editing. I increase the spacing, maybe angle. No, I have changed this setting. If I select this brush, all of the setting will be lost. I need to save the setting I applied here. So I come here, I press new brush preset, and I maybe set plus edit. No, I have two brushes, this one and this one. This is the one I start with, and this is the new brush. No, you can select this one and press delete brush. No, only this brush is left. But what I have here is only inside the Photoshop. If I uninstall the Photoshop and install it again, the default brush Photoshop will come again with new installation, but I cannot see this brush anymore. Or if I want to send this brush to someone, I cannot send it. To save this brush outside the Photoshop, you need to come here and press export selected brush. This menu comes up and it will ask to give it name in ABR format. Now when you save this file with ABR format, you can give it to anyone you want, and that person should come here and press import brush. Then you can select this brush and press load. Now you can see that this brush is added to the default brush setting. You can also import other brush like this one that I have already saved. And these are some of the brush that I have already worked on it. You can also restore default brush. You can get more brush from Adobe site, and you can also restore legacy brush, the brush that was in previous version of Photoshop. In this part, we explain about basic brush setting. In next video, I will explain more advanced concept of brush, so you can define your own brush.